So apparently on June 10th, Stavros from Cumtown, formerly of Cumtown, was on Bert Kreischer's show. I don't know if you know Bert Kreischer's, but he has this really funny joke about the machine.
Think about this for a second.
Yeah.
If our Patreon was making $110,000 a month, which was what Cumtown was in its prime,
you'd be dead. Yeah, I know.
How could anybody walk away from that?
I was thinking
if we
the same
fucking
thing.
despised each other, right?
You'd
be like,
the same thing.
Especially considering we do 5 days a week, right?
Yeah.
Imagine doing 1 day a week and banging out 2 shows and making $110,000 a month. If you can't get in a room or get on Zoom and bang out 2 low effort fucking 2-hour shows for $110,000 a month, people are like, no, they're going their separate ways. Maybe Stavros has a new opportunity. No, there is some fucking bitterness or tension there.
There is literally nothing you can't do, or nothing that's taken away from you from doing a 4
hours a day, one day a week for $110,000 a month.
That's nothing. But
sorry, I didn't mean to get off script.
No.
It is on topic.
This is related. This is related, so this works. So he was on Bert Kreischer's show. I'm sure you heard his jokes. Fat guy, no shirt.
Oh, the guy, the fat guy. He likes to take his shirt off.
Yeah.
The machine.
Yeah, machine. Yeah.
The story that he blatantly stole from somebody.
You mean the one he has a painting of behind him on his show because he's a Cringe factory?
Can somebody please in the chat? One of you guys will know and remember who did he take that story from? Because that was a story that he
borrowed.
I remember hearing borrowed from somebody.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking about what you're about to see here for a while, and we've been. This really started bothering us, specifically Mersh, and then now I noticed it, so it started really bugging me too because I never really paid attention to it. But when comedians refer to themselves anything other than a normal guy, they call themselves.
What?
What do you
say? They call other people civilians,
and
they use phrases like, "Nah, man, he and I started in the clubs. We were in the trenches.
We were in the trenches together.
We were in the trenches together.
Yeah. So,
brotherhood. No. I'm telling you,
I know.
We're a family. We're a brotherhood.
The craft. So I started a little bit before, but just so we get a little build up, I think you're gonna love this.
Were like comic compliments.
Yeah.
They were like.
Well, he's definitely a fucking comics comic because it's like...
He's talking about Nick, by the way.
Like, we have a great... Me and Nick are so good at riffing together. We just...
This is 10 days before he announced he was leaving.
We kind of like... There's like a yin and yang thing where it's like, you know, like we just kind of align on what we think is funny, and he's like constantly like the way his brain works and the way like what I provide comedically and what he provides just kind of aligns. So it's like... No one knows, like, Nick's
By the way, no mention of Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Not even a little mention. You know, there's a third guy on that show, right?
Ability's better than me because we've been doing, you know, the pod for years together. And he's just, like, very quick. I mean, there's just, like, you're just kind of like, how does his fucking brain work that way?
And here's where it starts. Here's where Kreischer. Okay.
And it's like, you know, it is funny because, like, every comic... all of us have some kind of fucking psychological issue where your brain is just compensating. Like we're all missing something, and it's like he just kind of has that like he's like the autistic Terminator, where it's just like he puts a joke or a person in his sights, and he's gonna figure out every little fucking bit that you can come out of that. And he's got a great memory, and it's like so it's great. It's so fun to riff with him. For sure.
Yeah. But it's so funny. A comic's brain is so different than a pedestrian's brain.
I want to throw this in Bert Kreischer's
it's a new
face.
TV. It's a new
no,
TV.
No, not at your stuff.
Okay.
I meant in his actual face. I want to throw this drink right now. Listen. I always thought civilians was insulting.
Yeah, no, pedestrian's pretty bad.
Pedestrian is infinitely more insulting, right?
Well,
these people really think who the fuck they are.
They believe it in their soul, and they.
You know, you could compare it a little bit to streaming, right? We've been to events where it's a lot of people that are streamers that are kind
of course,
right, whatever. And then you'll see some of the other people that like. There are some people that really think, like, you know what I mean, like
yeah,
cool ones. And then there's people
I've
like
hung
us
out with Harrison Smith.
But then there's people like us that go everywhere, and we're like, Yeah, I don't like any of these people.
people
I
are
don't,
full of
I don't care. Like, I like who I like, and I don't like half these people. I like half of these people.
Sometimes we'll say things like, "Yeah, I don't really care. You want a bowl?"
Dude, you know how many times I've left these events where you're like, oh, yeah, let's hang out backstage, and you just leave to go hang out with some friends of yours that are like auto mechanics to go smoke a bowl because you're like, this sucks. These people suck. Oh, these fucking, I hate the pedestrian brains.
Well, to be fair, the comeback is better.
Out
I backed up a
every little fucking bit that you can come out of that, and he's got a great memory, and it's like, so it's great. It's so fun to riff with him. For sure.
Yeah. But it's so funny. A comic's brain is so different than a pedestrian's brain, and like what, like I can't help. I went
Pedestrian is so funny, by the way.
Oh,
like saying that.
I said to a woman.
Now he's getting laughed at, and Kreischer's trying to. You can see what he's doing, trying to push through it. He doesn't let him.
I said to a woman the other day.
It's better than civilian.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy. It's like, we're not in the fucking armed force. Let's fucking.
Thank you.
This is why.
Fucking thank you.
This is why people have always adored Stavros Halkias. It's one of the reasons I adore Stavros. He's never been a guy that thinks that like anything about status.
Yeah.
Or like Stav's the one that most likely to be found hanging out with fans, like not even at a show. He's the one that's just a laid back, like, stop taking this serious. We're fucking fat losers that just get paid to be funny. Like, don't take this too seriously. And you gotta love that, man.
People that overuse that
really
civilian.
do.
Yeah. Says the guy who just said pedestrian.
Which to me still
think
feels
it's worse.
Pedestrian still feels worse. Because like civilian is this where you're kind of taking yourself and going like, I'm special, like soldier status.
Like a soldier, yeah, exactly.
Whereas pedestrian to me is almost, instead of upgrading yourself, you're downgrading other people because you're like, you peasants, you commoners.
That was so good, so ugh.
It's like, we are fucking so lucky we get to do this bullshit. Any person on the street I respect more than even my favorite comic.
Can I agree with that sentiment?
Yeah,
I
love
really
Stav.
believe
Stav's
that.
great, man.
Yeah.
Look, Stav's fucking Greek trash from Baltimore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He doesn't put on any airs.
Oh, really? I couldn't tell.
Dude, his tooth fell out.
I know.
And he just left it. And Nick, for 2 years, has been going, get your tooth fixed. And he's like, no. And like, he was yelling at him like, this is not a gimmick. This is not an image. I don't know what you're doing. And now, of course, he's selling a bunch of merch with missing tooth, like he's Chris Benoit. But like, he didn't even bother getting his tooth fixed. He started going bald, and he said, "I'm growing the back out." Like, it's
nice.
So I can look like a greasy Greek diner owner with a gambling problem.
Let's get that out there. Is that like we give so much less to society than a janitor? But I know you. But there's a reason we're doing it, right?
So someone told me, he goes, yeah, but you know what we do? We give that person that's going through the hardest day of their life, we give them a moment of reprise. And I go, yeah, but we also send people through the fucking roof.
Yeah. Oh my God! This talk of
It's insane.
Have you ever? Can you?
This is no grip on reality.
Think of the greatest comics that have ever lived. Like, can you imagine Carlin calling people that he's talking to pedestrians or civilians? Like, he would never do that, or think that they're above them. Even if you do in your mind think you're above people, like, this is a fucking shitty look, right? Like, yeah, we control their lives, we could fix them, and we could break them. We're gods,
dude.
Relax, Bert.
How many times have you gotten an email or a DM or something from somebody that said, "Hey man, big fan, whatever. A couple months ago, like I broke up with my girlfriend, and you guys' show is like, one of the things that really got me through it, and you guys are funny. Thanks." How do you not like me always get uncomfortable?
I don't know how to take that.
You go, stop. I mean, thank you, but I shouldn't be carrying anybody either, right? You know what I mean? But like, you should be. I don't know. There should be some uncomfortableness with like, oh, I'm a savior to these people rely on me.
Exactly.
Like, it's like, ew.
It's like, shut the fuck up,
you
dude.
just come on and call people gay and retarded on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's this weird.
But they just buy it. They ascend to this weird mental level where.
Oh yeah, no.
They really start going, I am. Like, look at all these Look at this. Look at what I do for people. I mean, all I do is give.
Yeah. Well, can you give me something other than that machine joke? That would be great.
People sometimes worse than anyone's ever upset them
so
in their
right.
fucking lives.
We never think about the flip side.
Yeah. We got that one guy that's going through cancer he's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
But you got that one black chick who just stormed out.
Oh,
Fuck
you've ruined so many.
You got no. I mean, it's amazing how you even make it through carrying such weight on your shoulders. I can't. It's I'll go watch this. I just can't watch this.
He has Stav on, right?
Yeah.
And
sorry. Good.
He just. This is how you can tell too that Bert Kreischer never listens to Come Down, doesn't know anything about Stav. This is when these people go like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have this person on because they're getting buzz, and I need people on my show." Doesn't do any research, doesn't know what Stav's capable of, and then they just mentally they always revert back to, well, we'll just talk about the craft, and it's like, Stav does a really funny Dundalk like Baltimore accent. Stav is really good at riffing and making fun of shit. There's so much shit Stav can do. He's great at crowd work. He's like getting to like Big J levels as far as his crowd work goes.
He doesn't look Jewish.
Like, but it's like there's so much you could do with him. And you come in and you're like, man, we're so much better than these pedestrian losers.
His crowd work is good, but is it Brendan Schaub good? Does he want to suck the dick of the guy at the front row for 5 hours?
I could imagine Stavros doing 2.5 minutes of I just want to suck your dick, dude.
What the fuck?
Can I suck your dick, please?
Yeah, I mean, but again, can you agree with this? It tends to be more LA comics that have that mentality than New York comics. I'm not saying there's not, because there is, of course, so many, but at least my interaction has always been.
Because New York comics, justifiably so, hate themselves.
Correct.
And LA comics hate themselves, but they see a therapist 3 days a week, and they're on like 3 different SSRIs, and they're learning how to love themselves. And that's the worst thing you could possibly do if you want to be funny is learn how to love yourself. And that's the problem. That is really, I guarantee you, if you went and talked to 100 New York comics right now and said, what do you do to deal with stress and anxiety and all that stuff? They'd be like, I don't know, man. I do cocaine and I smoke cigarettes. They're like, okay. When you go to LA, they're like, oh, I got this therapist I've been going to. Actually, he's Bill Burr's guy when he's out in LA. Anyway, I've been seeing him for a while.
I'm cringing because that sounds like a real thing. I mean,
and like so he's been teaching me that she has been teaching me that I really got to learn how to really like learn what my love language is. Just all this crap.
Speak your truth. I know. And by the way, if you want to talk to 100 New York comics, just sit outside the stand for 2 hours. They're all go in and out. They're going in and out all night.
And they all hate themselves.
I know.
Hey, good set tonight. Yeah, whatever, man. I'll see you guys later.